Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you there's a secret way to become unforgettable? The kind of woman who occupies his every thought day and night. Not through games or tricks, but by unlocking a power within you that magnetizes his mind and soul. If you're ready to discover how to make him think of you all the time, stay with me because this is the truth no one else will tell you. If you want a man to think of you all the time, you have to become unforgettable, not by playing games, but by becoming the kind of woman whose presence lingers in his mind long after you've left the room. This isn't about changing yourself to fit his desires. It's about elevating yourself so high that you naturally draw him in like gravity. It starts with confidence. Real confidence. The kind that doesn't depend on his compliments, his attention, or his approval. You must first know your worth so deeply that no one else's opinion can shake it. A man will always be drawn to a woman who knows who she is, because that kind of energy is rare. When you walk into a room and own it, not because you're loud, but because you radiate assurance, he can't help but notice. And when you leave, he'll remember that presence. Never underestimate the power of mystery. In a world where everyone overshares, being selective with what you reveal is magnetic. Give him glimpses of who you are, but never hand him the full story all at once. Let him earn the right to know your layers. When you hold back just enough, you plant seeds of curiosity that keep growing in his mind. He'll find himself thinking about you, wondering about the parts he hasn't discovered yet. Carry yourself with elegance in both your words and your actions. Grace is unforgettable. It's not about pretending to be perfect. It's about having self-control when others lose theirs. It's about choosing your responses instead of reacting impulsively. A woman who remains calm and composed even in chaos leaves a lasting impression because it shows strength. Strength paired with softness is irresistible. Make sure you have your own life, your passions, your ambitions, your dreams. Men are drawn to women who are complete without them because it creates a sense of challenge and respect. When you have a life that excites you, you naturally become more attractive. You become someone he wants to be a part of, not someone he feels responsible for completing. He should see you as a partner in adventure, not a passenger. Never underestimate the power of genuine kindness. The way you treat people who can do nothing for you says more than anything else. If he sees you being compassionate, respectful, and warm to others, it will stick with him. People forget words, but they never forget how you made them feel. When your energy consistently uplifts, it lingers in his memory like a favorite song. Be playful. Humor and lightness create memories that last longer than beauty. A shared laugh can echo in his mind for days. Don't be afraid to tease him, challenge him, and create inside jokes only you two share. Emotional connection often grows through shared joy. When he associates you with feeling alive and lighthearted, he'll crave your presence. Don't give everything away too quickly. Let things build. Let moments breathe. When you rush intimacy, you take away the space for anticipation. And anticipation is one of the most powerful emotions in attraction. The more he has to wait for certain parts of you, the more invested he becomes. When you pace the journey, each interaction becomes a chapter he wants to keep reading. Take care of yourself. Not just your appearance, but your energy, your mind, and your spirit. When you prioritize your well-being, you glow differently. A healthy lifestyle, a sharp mind, and a peaceful hair. To make you magnetic in a way no material thing can. When he sees that you value yourself, he will naturally value you more. Show passion for life. Whether it's your career, your hobbies, or the causes you care about, your fire will inspire him. People are drawn to passion because it's contagious. It makes you unforgettable because it's rare. The more you live with purpose, the more you stand out from the noise. Don't be predictable. Keep evolving. The woman he meets today should be even more captivating tomorrow. When you keep growing, learning, and surprising him, he will keep chasing that feeling of discovery. Don't try to compete with anyone else. Your uniqueness is your advantage. There is no other version of you. So lean into that. The more authentically you live, the more memorable you become. Imitation fades, but authenticity lasts. When you combine confidence, mystery, kindness, passion, and presence, you become a rare blend he can't easily find elsewhere. And when you become that rare blend, you won't have to chase his thoughts. They'll already be chasing you. To keep a man thinking about you all the time, you have to understand that attraction is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process, a dance between two energies. It requires patience, awareness, and a deep commitment to your own growth. So you're not just trying to hold his attention. You're creating an experience that draws him in and keeps him there willingly, eagerly, and without pressure. One of the most important things to remember is that emotional intelligence is your secret weapon. When you learn to read his moods, Understand his needs and respond thoughtfully. You create a connection that goes beyond surface level. A relationship is not about staying the same. It's about constantly adding depth to your connection. Speak with intention. Your words have power, and when used wisely, they can linger in his mind long after the conversation ends. Be the woman who can inspire him with a single sentence, who can shift his perspective with a well-timed thought. People rarely forget those who change the way they see the world. Be fully present when you're with him. Put away distractions. Listen with your whole attention and look into his eyes when you speak. In a world where attention is scattered, presence is intoxicating. When he feels that you're truly there with him, not thinking of the next thing, not scrolling on your phone, he will feel seen. That feeling stays with him long after you part ways. Let him miss you, don't always be available. Space creates desire. When you give him time to think about you, you allow his mind to wander back to the moments you shared. If you're constantly present, he doesn't get the chance to long for you.
The absence will make your presence more powerful.
Hold your boundaries with confidence. A man will think about you if he respects you, and he will respect you if you respect yourself. Know what you will and will not tolerate and stand firm in it. This isn't about being cold. It's about honoring your own value. A woman who can say no without fear is unforgettable. Able. Express yourself through your style. Your scent, your laughter, sensory memories are powerful. Sometimes the faintest fragrance or the sound of your voice can pull him back to you. Find the details that make you uniquely you and let them shine. Those small, consistent traits become anchors in his memory. Men, just like women, want to feel understood and valued. When you tune into his emotions without judgment, when you listen not just to respond, but to truly hear, you create a safe space where his thoughts and feelings can flourish. That space is where he will find himself thinking of you, because he feels seen and appreciated in a way that feels rare and precious. Don't shy away from vulnerability, but be strategic with it. Sharing your true self is powerful, but it has to be due. Knee with trust and timing. When you allow him glimpses into your authentic feelings, your dreams, and even your fears, you invite him into your world. This invitation creates intimacy that lingers because it's genuine. But if you reveal too much too soon, or without trust, it can lose its impact. Protect your heart by pacing vulnerability with intention. So every moment you open up becomes a memorable milestone in your connection. At the same time, nurture your independence. This balance between intimacy and independence is magnetic. When he sees that you are not dependent on him for your happiness, but that you choose to share your life with him, it flips the dynamic. You become the prize, the woman who has a full life, yet chooses to include him. Independence fuels respect and admiration. It's the force that keeps a man intrigued because it tells him you are a whole, complete woman who isn't afraid to stand alone but chooses partnership. Your energy is your language. Pay attention to how you carry yourself emotionally and physically. Positive energy attracts positive energy. When you radiate warmth, optimism, and joy, it's impossible for him not to be drawn to that vibe. People naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel good, who inspire hope and light in their lives. Being that source of energy, that breath of fresh air, is something that will make him think of you, even when you're not around. Attraction is also about creating shared experiences. Memories tie people together in powerful ways. Create moments that are fun, exciting, or deeply meaningful. Moments that stand out against the monotony of everyday life. Whether it's a spontaneous adventure, a deep late-night conversation, or a simple shared laugh over coffee, these moments become the threads in the fabric of your connection. He'll replay those memories in his mind, holding on to the feelings they sparked and associating those feelings with you. Physical connection plays a significant role too. It's not about seduction or manipulation. It's about genuine touch that communicates care, reassurance, and warmth. The way you touch him, whether it's a light brush of the hand, a reassuring hug, or a playful nudge, can create a physical memory that stays with him. Touch is a primal language that speaks directly to the heart and brain. When it's authentic and tender, it builds a subtle but powerful bond that pulls him back toward you. Keep your sense of humor alive. Laughter is an emotional glue. When you can joke, tease, and laugh together, you create a joyful energy that makes the connection feel effortless and alive. Don't be afraid to be a little silly or playful. Life is serious enough, and a woman who can bring lightness even in difficult moments becomes unforgettable. His mind will often drift back to those joyful exchanges because they bring relief and pleasure, making you someone he craves being around. Remember that respect is the foundation of lasting attraction. Always treat yourself and him with respect. Never compromise your values or dignity for temporary approval or attention. A man who respects you will think about you constantly because respect breeds admiration and admiration fosters love. When respect is missing, no amount of attraction can sustain the connection. So guard your worth fiercely and demand to be treated accordingly. The art of subtlety is often overlooked. You don't have to be loud or obvious to make an impact. Sometimes the softest whisper, the briefest smile, or the quietest glance can leave the deepest impression. Subtlety invites him to lean in, to pay closer attention, to be curious. When you master this art, you create an aura of elegance and sophistication that stays in his thoughts, long after the moment has passed. In today's fast-paced world, the way you communicate also matters. Texts, calls, and social media interactions can either enhance or dilute your presence. Use them wisely. A well-timed message, a thoughtful compliment, or a spontaneous check-in can make him pause and think about you, but avoid overdoing it. Too much communication, especially if it feels needy or repetitive, can push him away or make you fade into the background noise. Balance is key. Give just enough to keep his interest alive without overwhelming him. Your mindset shapes the energy you project. Approach this journey with self-love and empowerment, not desperation or neediness. When you believe in your own value and radiate that belief, you naturally attract the right kind of attention. Neediness, on the other hand, can push people away because it signals insecurity and lack of self-trust. Cultivate a mindset that says, I am enough on my own and I share my life with someone who sees my worth. Be mindful of your social circle and environment. The people you surround yourself with and the lifestyle you lead influence how he perceives you.
Being around positive, ambitious, and supportive friends adds to your appeal.
It shows that you have a strong foundation and are invested in your own happiness and growth. A woman who is grounded in a healthy social network is both more confident and more interesting. And these qualities will keep him thinking about you long after you part ways. Surprise and spontaneity are powerful tools to keep the spark alive. Routine can make people take each other for granted. When you occasionally break the pattern, whether it's planning an unexpected outing, sending a surprise gift, or simply changing up your style, you reignite his curiosity and excitement. Small surprises show thoughtfulness and creativity, signaling that you are invested in the relationship and eager to keep it vibrant. Listening to your intuition is crucial. Your gut feelings will guide you toward what feels right and away from what doesn't. When you honor your instincts, you make choices that align with your highest good. This inner wisdom helps you avoid situations or people that drain your energy and instead leads you to experiences that uplift and empower you. A woman who trusts herself projects a magnetic confidence that is unforgettable. Patience is a virtue in this process. Attraction doesn't always happen overnight. Sometimes it takes time for a man to fully realize your value and importance in his life. Don't rush or force the process. Instead, focus on cultivating your best self and creating meaningful experiences. The right man will come to think of you all the time because you have built something genuine and lasting, not because you chased fleeting attention. Remember to celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Each time you take a step toward becoming your most authentic, confident, and empowered self, you reinforce your worth. This positive reinforcement feeds your energy and attracts even more opportunities for meaningful connection. When you feel good about yourself, it radiates outward and pulls others into your orbit effortlessly. Embrace your uniqueness, unapologetical. Your quirks, your passions, your perspectives, all of these are what make you one of a kind. When you stop trying to fit into someone else's mold and start celebrating who you truly are, you shine in a way that cannot be ignored. People are drawn to authenticity because it's refreshing and real. The more you embrace your uniqueness, the more unforgettable you become. Lastly, never forget the power of gratitude. Being grateful for yourself, your journey, and the connections you create invites positive energy into your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's abundant, and this shift transforms how you show up in relationships. When you operate from a place of gratitude, you naturally attract people who appreciate you, and those people will think about you often because you bring light and positivity into their lives. By weaving together confidence, mystery, kindness, passion, presence, emotional intelligence, and authenticity, you create a magnetic force that makes a man think of you constantly. This is not about manipulation or tricks. It's about becoming the best version of yourself and inviting someone into your world who recognizes and cherishes that brilliance. When you become a woman who loves herself deeply and lives fully, you won't need to wonder if he's thinking about you because you will feel his presence in every moment, near or far. To truly make a man think of you all the time, you must realize that it's not just about the moments you share, but the energy you leave behind when you're apart. Presence is far more than physical proximity. It's the emotional footprint you imprint on his mind and heart. This kind of presence is cultivated through intention, self-awareness, and emotional mastery. One of the most profound ways to deepen your presence is through the power of storytelling. Not the kind that's rehearsed or artificial, but the kind that comes from your soul. Share your stories, your triumphs, your challenges, your lessons with authenticity and vulnerability. When you open up in this way, you invite him into your journey. He begins to root for you, to want to be part of your story. The memories he holds aren't just of you smiling or your beauty, but of your strength, your resilience, and the wisdom you carry. These are the stories that echo in his thoughts and keep him connected to you emotionally. Your mindset about love and relationships plays a critical role in how you are perceived and remembered. Saying no isn't about shutting him out. It's about valuing yourself enough to protect your time, energy, and peace. A man who respects your boundaries will think about you more because he knows you won't tolerate anything less than what you deserve. That respect creates a foundation for lasting attraction. Nurture your intuition and trust it. Your intuition is your inner compass, guiding you toward decisions that honor your well-being and happiness. When you make choices based on this inner knowing, you project a quiet confidence that men find irresistible. They sense when a woman is aligned with herself and her purpose, and that alignment makes her unforgettable. Trusting your intuition also keeps you from compromising your values or settling for less than you deserve, which strengthens your presence and appeal. Master the balance between independence and intimacy. Independence signals that you are whole and complete, not reliant on him for your happiness. Intimacy signals that you're willing to share your heart and life with him. When these two coexist harmoniously, it creates a powerful dynamic. He thinks of you constantly because you're not a drain or a project. You're a partner who brings joy and strength to his life, while maintaining your own foundation. Be consistent in your energy and actions. Inconsistency creates confusion and uncertainty, which can lead to emotional distance. When you show up as your authentic self day after day with kindness, confidence, and grace, you build trust. Trust is the bedrock of any meaningful connection. A man who trusts you will think of you often because you represent stability and safety in a chaotic world. Celebrate your passions and share them with him. Passion is contagious. When you pursue what lights you up, you radiate energy that is impossible to ignore. Sharing your passions invites him to see your world, your values, and what makes you uniquely you. It opens the door for deeper conversations and connection, making him think of you not just as a companion, but as a source of inspiration. Maintain a sense of humor and lightness. Even in challenging moments, life will test every relationship, but how you respond to challenges speaks volumes. A woman who can find humor and lightness in difficulties brings relief and joy to those around her. This ability makes her unforgettable because she's not just a source of comfort, but also of joy and laughter. Men think of women who make their lives better, not harder. Engage his mind as well as his heart. Stimulate him intellectually by sharing your ideas, asking thought-provoking questions, and engaging in meaningful conversations. Intellectual connection creates a powerful bond that goes beyond physical attraction. When he values your mind, he will think of you often because you challenge and inspire him to grow. Be mindful of your digital presence. In today's world, how you present yourself online influences how often you're in his thoughts. Share moments of your life that reflect your authentic self, your values, your joys, your ambitions. Avoid oversharing or creating drama, because that can push him away or confuse him. Instead, curate a presence that reflects the best version of you, leaving him curious and eager to know more. Practice patience and let the connection evolve naturally. Attraction and deep emotional bonds take time to develop. Resist the urge to rush or force things. Instead, focus on enjoying the process and building a genuine connection. When you're patient, you create space for anticipation and desire to grow. Men often think of what they cannot have immediately, so allowing things to unfold at their own pace increases your allure. Be generous with your compliments and appreciation, but only when they are sincere. Genuine praise uplifts and creates positive associations. When he feels appreciated, he will think of you more because you become linked with good feelings. Avoid flattery that feels forced or insincere, as this can be a turn-off and reduce your credibility. Create rituals or special moments unique to your connection. Whether it's a phrase only you two use, a shared song, or a small tradition, these unique bonds create memories that replay in his mind. Rituals become anchors that remind him of your presence and the specialness of your relationship. Keep your goals and dreams in focus. A woman with a vision for her life is powerful and magnetic. Share your aspirations with him not to seek approval, but to inspire him and invite him to be part of your journey. When a man sees that you are driven and purposeful, he admires and respects you, which leads to deeper emotional investment and more frequent thoughts about you. Express gratitude for his presence in life, no matter how small. Appreciation strengthens bonds and creates positive energy between you. When you acknowledge his efforts and kindness, you encourage him to continue showing up, and he will think about you because you make him feel valued. Balance giving and receiving. Relationships thrive on mutual exchange. Make sure you are not always the one giving attention, energy, or love. Allow him space to give, to show care, and to contribute. When a man feels that he is a valued giver, he will think of you more because the connection becomes meaningful and fulfilling for him as well. Stay curious about him, ask questions, listen actively, and show genuine interest in his thoughts and feelings. Curiosity fosters intimacy and connection. When he feels that you truly want to know him, he will think about you more because you create a space where he can be himself without judgment. Avoid being overly available. While it's important to be present, being too available can reduce your value in his eyes. Keep some mystery by not responding immediately every time, or always being at his beck and call. This balance creates desire and keeps him thinking about you when you're not around. Invest time in self-care, not just physical, but mental and spiritual as well. When you take care of yourself holistically, you project an energy of health, vitality, and self-respect. Men are drawn to women who nurture themselves because it signals that they value their life and well-being, which in turn makes them unforgettable. Be mindful of your language. The words you choose and how you say them create lasting impressions. Speak with kindness, confidence, and clarity. Avoid gossip, negativity, or complaining excessively. Positive language uplifts and attracts, making you someone he wants to keep in his thoughts. Celebrate your successes and share your joy. When you achieve something big or small, own it and let him see your happiness. Joy is contagious, and a woman who shines in her accomplishments inspires admiration and reaction. Create balance in your emotional expressions. While being open and vulnerable is important, it's equally crucial to maintain emotional stability. Avoid emotional extremes that might overwhelm or confuse him. A balanced emotional presence fosters safety and trust, which keeps him thinking of you fondly. Practice forgiveness both toward yourself and others. Holding grudges or past hurts creates emotional baggage that weighs down your energy. Forgiveness frees you and allows you to be fully present in your relationships. When you embody forgiveness, you project peace and strength, qualities that are deeply attractive. Surround yourself with positive influences. The company you keep shapes your mindset and energy. Being around uplifting, supportive people reinforces your confidence and joy. When he sees you surrounded by positivity, it reflects well on you and enhances your appeal. Let your authenticity shine through in every interaction. Pretending to be someone you're not only leads to exhaustion and disconnection. When you embrace your true self, flaws and all, you invite him to love you wholly. Authenticity creates deep connection and unforgettable presence. Remember that making a man think of you all the time is not about possession or control. It's about creating a magnetic, authentic bond that naturally draws him in. This bond grows stronger when you nurture yourself, live with intention, and share your true self with courage and grace. It is this kind of connection that lasts not just in his thoughts, but in his heart. A connection that holds a man's attention and fills his thoughts isn't built on fleeting gestures or superficial charm. It's cultivated through depth, presence, and genuine connection. To be unforgettable, you must become the kind of woman who is fully alive, fully present, and fully herself in every moment. This means embracing your strengths and vulnerabilities alike, allowing your true essence to shine through without apology or hesitation. When you live authentically, you naturally draw the right people toward you. Authenticity is magnetic because it signals honesty and self-acceptance, qualities that create trust and admiration. People, especially men, can sense when someone is genuine, and that sensing triggers a deep attraction that goes beyond physical appearances or initial impressions. It's the essence of who you are, your values, your dreams, your energy that imprints on his mind long after you've parted ways. One of the most powerful ways to become unforgettable is to become a source of inspiration. Live your life with passion and purpose and invite him to witness your journey. Whether it's your career, your creative pursuits, your personal growth, or your commitment to causes you believe in. Let your enthusiasm shine. Passion is contagious. When a man sees that you are deeply engaged in your own life, it sparks admiration and curiosity. Show interest in his dreams, his fears, and his experiences. Share your own thoughts and listen deeply. This ongoing exchange creates a dynamic flow of energy that makes every interaction meaningful. When a man feels that he is truly known and that he knows you in return, he can't help but keep you in his thoughts. Keep your life full of joy and celebration. Celebrate your wins, big and small. Laugh often. Find delight in the everyday moments. Joy is infectious, and a woman who radiates happiness naturally attracts people. When he associates you with joy and positivity, he thinks of you as a source of light in his life. This positive association strengthens the emotional connection and makes your presence unforgettable. Balance your emotional expression with emotional stability. Being open and vulnerable is important, but it must be tempered with emotional maturity. Avoid dramatic highs and lows that might confuse or overwhelm him. Instead, practice expressing your feelings honestly but calmly. This balance creates a sense of safety and trust, which deepens attraction and keeps him thinking of you fondly. Pay attention to the little things that create lasting memories. It might be a unique way you say his name, a special phrase you use only between you two, or a particular look you give that speaks volumes. These small, intimate details create an emotional language that belongs only to your relationship. They become triggers in his mind that bring him back to you, even when you're not physically present. Keep evolving and growing. Stagnation kills attraction. When you continue to learn, expand your horizons, and pursue new experiences, you remain interesting and inspiring. A man will think of you often because you are a woman who never stops growing. Someone who is alive, evolving, and fully engaged with life. Remember to show appreciation and gratitude for him. Everyone wants to feel valued and recognized. When you acknowledge his efforts, kindness, and presence sincerely, you reinforce the emotional connection. Gratitude creates a positive feedback loop where both of you feel good about the relationship. This mutual appreciation keeps your connection strong and vibrant in his mind. Maintain a strong sense of boundaries and self-respect. Boundaries aren't walls, they're bridges to healthy connection. When you know what you will and won't accept and communicate that clearly, you set the tone for how you want to be treated. A man who respects your boundaries will think of you more because he knows you won't settle for less than you deserve. This respect forms the foundation of a lasting, meaningful connection. Stay playful and spontaneous. Life can become routine, and routine dulls the spark. Inject moments of surprise, fun, and playfulness into your interactions. Be the woman who can laugh at herself, who enjoys the moment, who isn't afraid to be a little silly. These moments create joyful memories that he will replay again and again, keeping your presence alive in his mind. Nurture your physical well-being, not to please him, but because it honors yourself. When you feel good in your body, your confidence shines through. This confidence is magnetic. Men notice when a woman cares for herself holistically, physically, emotionally, and mentally. It tells them that she values her life and herself, which is incredibly attractive and unforgettable. Be mindful of how you use technology in your relationship. Texts, calls, and social media are tools that can either build or erode connection. Use them to share your authentic self, to show thoughtfulness, and to create moments of intimacy. Avoid oversharing or creating drama online. Instead, let your digital presence reflect your best self and leave him curious and wanting more. Embrace patience and allow the relationship to unfold naturally. Deep connection and lasting attraction aren't rushed. Sometimes the most profound bonds grow slowly through consistent care, attention, and presence. When you practice patience, you create space for desire and anticipation to build, making every interaction more meaningful and memorable. Stay grounded in your values and integrity. Your character and principles define you far more than any momentary charm or appearance. A man will think about you when he knows you are a woman of substance, someone who stands by her beliefs and lives with honor. Integrity creates trust, and trust creates lasting emotional bonds. Focus on building a friendship alongside romance. Friendship is the foundation of any strong relationship. When you connect on a friendly level with shared humor, mutual respect, and genuine care, you create a bond that can withstand challenges. A man who thinks of you as both a partner and a friend will hold you close in his thoughts because the relationship nourishes him on multiple levels. Keep your life balanced. Balance between work and play, independence and intimacy. Seriousness and fun creates a well-rounded and appealing energy. When you manage to keep your world in harmony, You become someone who is stable yet exciting, grounded you. Be adventurous. This balance is incredibly attractive and keeps him thinking about you often. Speak with kindness and intention. The way you communicate both verbally and non-verbally leaves lasting impressions. Choose words that uplift, encourage, and inspire. Avoid harsh criticism, negativity, or passive aggressiveness. When your communication style is loving and respectful, it deepens connection and creates a safe, emotional environment that he wants to return to again and again. Celebrate your uniqueness and let it shine. You are unlike anyone else, and that is your greatest strength. Don't try to mold yourself into what you think he wants. Instead, fully embrace your quirks, your talents, your passions. When you live as your authentic self, you attract the right kind of attention. Attention that is lasting and meaningful. Practice forgiveness, not only toward others, but toward yourself. Holding on to resentment or regret creates emotional blocks that dim your light. Forgiveness frees your heart and opens you to deeper connection. When you embody forgiveness, you radiate peace and strength, qualities that are deeply attractive and unforgettable. Surround yourself with positivity and support. Your environment influences your energy and mindset. Being around people who uplift, encourage, and inspire you enhances your confidence and joy. When he sees you thriving in a positive community, it adds to your allure and makes you unforgettable. Keep your emotional energy high. Emotional energy is contagious and magnetic. Practice habits that boost your mood and resilience. Whether it's meditation, exercise, creative pursuits, or spending time in nature, when you bring vibrant emotional energy to your interactions, you create an experience that he will remember and long for. Ultimately, making a man think of you all the time is about becoming the fullest, most authentic, and most radiant version of yourself. It's about living a life that inspires admiration and desire, about creating a connection that it nourishes and uplifts both of you. When you commit to this path, you won't just be on his mind, you'll be in his heart.